Cryptilians and crypto crackheads, this is going to be a VIACOIN video in specific regard to the delisting. I'll cover a few topics here. I'm going to leave a few links down in the bottom that you can check out. One is a review on VIACOIN, what it does, how it was the first cryptocurrency to have atomic swaps, which was a pretty big deal. And another article, not an article that is backed by Binance, per what I can tell, but somebody, postulating why VIACOIN would have been delisted, and they do quote lack of developer activity and developer communication with Binance, which is what some of the people let me know. Hey, it hasn't had much activity in a while, and that ended up being the reason for a delisting. So it is what it is, and what we're going to do in this video, again, it's going to be a few things, but first I'm going to cover what is in the charts. Okay. Second, I'm leaving you links down below. Third is, and perhaps more important, is even when something like this happens and you hold an asset, when one of your assets gets totally screwed, you and your whole crypto portfolio, so imagine this pie as your crypto portfolio, you shouldn't be overall totally screwed. Rather, the sliver of one coin that you hold, if that coin were to get smashed by a delisting, only that small sliver of your portfolio should be smashed, and the rest of your portfolio should be just fine. So I will cover that as well. Just you shouldn't go all in on one coin, essentially. And I'm pretty sure I never suggested that. So let's jump right into this and see what's going on. I will first relate this to a few other monetary coins and just see what's in the charts first. So what I'm seeing in the charts is that this is kind of in the danger zone here. It is at its last origin line, and it's not farther below the origin line than it's ever been. If, let's say, we don't count this big wick here, okay? So we zoom in and maybe grab something like this. So from origin line to the bottom of that is 33%. Right now, VIACOIN is 16% under that origin line. So it's not looking great. However, if that line ends up holding, let's say on a weekly basis, not too many weeks are crashing below there, and you get price back up here in a few weeks, that could be a pretty good sign. That this is going to recover from the delisting, similar to how XRP did not necessarily crash with the news of the SEC coming after it. Rather, when it really tanked, per my knowledge. So you can leave me a comment if this is wrong. But I think I remember how it crashed. It crashed after a bunch of exchanges came out and said, "Oh wait, we're going to delist this now that it's having trouble with the SEC because we don't want to have to deal with that." And that's when XRP crashed. And most of you know that XRP has recovered. Clearly, totally different reasons for delisting. However, the point remains that, for my knowledge, which might not be correct, so leave me a comment if I'm not, I remember that the big dump on XRP happened more specific to the announcements of delistings, right? So that's the bigger point, and it has recovered. So announcement of delisting, a big dump. Will this recover? So in the charts, I'm going to show you, I'm not going to try to justify reasons why, but rather what am I looking at in the charts in that specific regard. So here we go. This is versus the US dollar. I've already covered, hey, it's kind of in the danger zone. It has been lower under this last origin line. So as of right now, it's just it's hanging on. That's what I'm seeing in the charts. This is VIACOIN versus Bitcoin. It is also in the danger zone down here. Okay, it's not doing anything crazy out of the total ordinary. Because price has bounced and lived within here for a little bit of time. And if you do not see VIACOIN get out of this rut and break below and then use it as resistance, then tick down, that would be very bad. So let me go over that one more time. Versus the Bitcoin chart. VIACOIN versus Bitcoin might be the better chart to look at. If you see VIACOIN price come below these two wicks, and this is on Bittrex. So if you type in VIA BTC, actually it's just on Bittrex here, okay, because I got delisted. So if you see VIACOIN come under this, come up somewhere in the box, maybe the bottom or the middle, and then come back down and make a lower low, that would be potential demise. That would greatly lower the chances of a recovery from a charting perspective, not from a fundamental perspective. Because let's say the main dev who took it over from Peter Todd, who was a Bitcoin core developer, I think the second person to jump on the team, it was taken over by Romano, who at the time was only 21 years old. Let's say that he just comes back in, and starts getting more active with the community, this and that, because he says, oh crap, I didn't realize my departure from marketing, this and that, was going to mess my project up that I put so many years of effort into. That could turn things around right away, even after you get a rejection here. However, so that's a fundamental perspective. Fundamentals could change things like that, and I'm not saying that that's going to happen. I'm not guessing that that's going to happen either. What I'm saying is the difference between charting and fundamentals is from a charting strict perspective. If you see price come below here, come up, get rejected somewhere in this box, and make a lower low, that would be very bad. So that's what I would personally keep my eyes on. Now, let's compare this to other coins versus Bitcoin or versus the dollar, other monetary coins. So I'm going to go to LTC versus BTC on Bitfinex specifically. And as you can see here, I have a box for its danger zone. It's dancing on it. It's not inside of it right now, but it very recently was. And it hadn't been inside of that since 2017. So versus Bitcoin, Litecoin is not much stronger than VIACOIN. So let me say that again. From a charting perspective versus Bitcoin, VIACOIN is not much worse off than Litecoin is, even after it got delisted. Litecoin is dancing on its danger zone, and VIACOIN is in its danger zone. And Litecoin was just in its danger zone. All right. So now this, the idea that Litecoin, Dash, and VIACOIN were very low on their charts versus Bitcoin is what made me pretty bullish on Litecoin, Dash, and VIACOIN as monetary coins. Or I mean, heck, even 𝐄𝐍𝐓𝐄𝐍𝐓, because 𝐄𝐍𝐓𝐄𝐍𝐓 is kind of like a sister coin of VIACOIN, very similar coins, but 𝐄𝐍𝐓𝐄𝐍𝐓, which is GRS ticker, is extremely active with their community. They give updates all the time on what they're doing, as opposed to just doing stuff and not updating their website. So if you're looking for a pretty similar monetary coin with potential large ROI opportunity, perhaps more than Bitcoin, but it's also a monetary coin, GRS might be a good one to get into. I do not own any GRS. However, that is a pretty similar project. Who also has a number of firsts for all of cryptocurrency. So you can go check out GRS if you would like to. Again, I do not own any of that asset, so I am not I'm not chilling it by definition. So this is Litecoin versus Bitcoin. All right, now let's look at Dash versus Bitcoin. And again, it's being low. So these monetary coins being low in their chart versus Bitcoin is what made me a little bullish on it, because on these three assets, because I think that they will make a run on Bitcoin at some time in the future. So I would say Dash's danger zone might be around here, and it's not dancing on it right now. So I'm not for sure how I should count this. I'm not really for sure how to count that, but that was when it was just first coming out. So I'm gonna use this as a support for the danger zone, the bottom of the danger zone. So Dash also, I'm personally, 20 bagging. Actually, I recently 100 bagged it. But I am trying to trade Dash on spot, swing trading, and I'm trying to acquire Dash because I'm very bullish on it, because I think that it will come back up to near the top of its chart versus Bitcoin, which is the entire reason I was bullish on VIACOIN and talked about it several times. And the idea that since it's a smaller cap, its ROI, should it go up on its chart versus Bitcoin, would be monumental, right? Because it had a 250,000. So VIACOIN had a 250,000% run. So so what I'm saying right now is the reasons why I even mentioned VIACOIN at all. So VIACOIN had a 250,000% run, 250,000% run, right? And its chart works more like a machine, because that's what Bitcoin is. Bitcoin is a coded machine, right? So is Litecoin, most monetary coins are. That's literally what they are. They are not blockchain businesses at all. They are a form of money. They are a coding machine. So given that this naturally, as a smaller cap, has higher ROI potential, if you can define that as lower cap right? Just loosely defining that. Is that a perfect definition? Absolutely not. A lot of large caps have outperformed a lot of small caps. So I'm not saying that is a perfect rule of thumb. However, that was my logic behind the potential ROI here. So if VIACOIN were to, let's say, get up even to the third line here, as opposed to the top at the end of a bull run, which might happen around, let's say, before the delisting, let's say May 2022 as end of bull run, and it got to this third line here, that would put you around $60, which was my price target. Okay. So, and from the time I was talking about it, right around 70 cents is, I think, when my first video was made on it. All right. That would bring you up to, in that case, an 8,000% run. Pretty good, which is bigger than what Bepro's was. Bepro's run was 6,000%. So, and that's from 70 cents, not from a bottom or anything like that. So those are the reasons why I even talked about it at all. Okay. And did I make a mistake by, ignoring the idea that 2019 and 2020, they pretty much were shooting blanks in terms of development and all that kind of stuff? Yeah, I mean, potentially, because that's what's bit, everything in the ass. So, I could say right now that perhaps I should have mentioned that, or noted that very frankly. Hey, monetary coins don't need hype to pump, because that's pretty much true. I mean, that is true, because Bitcoin doesn't get any hype about its project. It gets hype about people buying it, although there is no hype about Bitcoin itself as development. The hype of Bitcoin is about people using it, right? Which VIACOIN doesn't have. However, it's not about Bitcoin development. So did I ignore that and I shouldn't have? Yeah, probably. I will admit that mistake. Absolutely. And I do apologize for that, especially as a content creator. Perhaps I should I should always provide words of caution as particularly during videos where I say bullish AF, right? So, and the reasons why it's bullish AF, I should do a tit for tat, both sides, a bullish and bearish scenario, right? So, and I do apologize for that. So we're still looking at charts here. I'm getting a little off track. I do apologize. So that is, and now let's look at Dash. Let's look at Dash versus the dollar. Dash recently made a new origin line, actually kind of tagged this. So it used to have its bottom origin line down here. And since 2019, it has been writing yet a lower origin line, which is what VIACOIN might end up doing. So Dash, from an origin line standpoint, is actually in the same boat VIACOIN is. Its original bottom origin line, Dash is below it by almost the same exact percentage. What was VIACOIN, like 16% below? So let's look at this line, 18%. So they are technically in the same boat from a strict perspective of origin lines that I have drawn in here. So Dash versus Bitcoin, which we've already looked at, that it's interesting that it has been able to stay this high on its chart. However, it did make a new closure low. So this low right here is representative of the idea that Dash made a new origin line right here. So because it broke this horizontal right there, and now it's above it. So most monetary coins. Let's go to Bitcoin Cash, another monetary coin, versus Bitcoin. It's still in price discovery down, right? So Bitcoin has been extremely bullish, and the other monetary coins just can't catch up with it. However, I do feel that there will be a time, even if NFTs and all that kind of good, all the sexy stuff is stealing the show. I think during a full altcoin run, a full and proper altcoin run, that these altcoins of monetary coins will make a run on Bitcoin versus Bitcoin. They will, I'm not saying make new all-time highs, however, get much higher up on their chart. And so, for example, if Bitcoin Cash were just to get up to, let's say, this level right there, that's 1,000% versus Bitcoin. And if assuming Bitcoin's going up, that's a huge run, right? That would put BCH, I don't know, probably at 15K or something like that if Bitcoin were to go on a run and these monetary coins were to make a run versus Bitcoin as well, which I think is bound to happen within a year or two. So that was my overall interest in monetary coins. They are very suppressed versus Bitcoin, right? Across the board, all of these that we're looking at as I just showed. However, VIACOIN being the smaller cap among those, if it were to make a run versus Bitcoin, its ROI potential would be monster compared to the other monetary coins versus Bitcoin. So that was the reason I mentioned it. And I've mentioned the mistake that I made not looking deeply into the fundamentals and making a strong note that, hey, Romano hasn't been very active with the community that follows him. So you might have caution. I did make that mistake. All right. And so the most important thing that I wanted to say within this video is this. Let's say you watched my video on that and you ended up buying VIACOIN, or you're in the community, you know, this and that, and you ended up buying VIACOIN. I'm going to make a more complete video on this. However, you should have a game plan for what your portfolio looks like. For example, the amount of, so this whole circle right here is all of your money that's in crypto and money that's sitting aside meant for crypto, right? So futures, I always like to stress, it should be like 10% or less of your total money in. All right. Within small caps holding, or just a HODL position, whether it's small cap or not, each coin that you hold should only be a sliver of that one portion of your portfolio, as opposed to throwing 40K on VIACOIN. So the lack of diversification, you know, that can really screw you over. And so for those of you who went all in on just one asset, you know, I do feel bad. I don't feel culpable for that. However, I do feel bad that that is the situation that you're in. However, moving forward, know that diversification into something like this, staking coins, you know, getting some Bepro, some Polkadot, some, you know, whatever coins that you can find that you can stake on an exchange or off an exchange, you know, perhaps you should think about, let's say, for example, not financial advice, 25% of all your money in should be coins that you really don't touch, that you buy during a downturn, perhaps like right now, with coins, a lot of staking coins down 95%, and you pick them up low and you just don't touch them and you just let the staking rewards come up. So that not financial advice. However, my personal portfolio is probably like 35-40% staking. And it's doing pretty well right now, especially with OLT pumping like it has. My goodness, that's been going crazy. And Bepro went crazy. I'm staking both of those. Now I just have to wait on idea. Once all three are at, woof, it's gonna be, it could be like 60% of my portfolio if those three pop simultaneously, or if they both stay up at the same time. So diversification, not just into different coins, but into different strategies for your portfolio is a huge deal. In general. And if this was not something you thought about when buying just all VIACOIN or a large portion of VIACOIN, definitely think about this in the future. Now, what I want to wrap up with in this video is, oh, I did forget one thing. If you wanted to get your coin off of your coins off of an exchange, VIACOIN's website has a paper wallet. That's personally what I use. You just send it to, it's like sending it to an email that isn't on the computer. And when you want to take it off, you just act like you just do the same steps to send it off of there. You just don't log in into an exchange to do it. It's pretty simple. It's cold storage. That's personally what I use. However, they do have light wallets. And I probably wouldn't suggest downloading the entire core because you're going to use a lot more computer power. It takes a lot of time to download the entire blockchain. So I think that's the VIA Electrum is the light wallet that downloads very quickly. You can send things to there. And if your computer ever to crash or anything, as long as you have saved your private key somewhere, you can just re-download a wallet and upload your or enter your private key into there, and then it populates the money that you have stored on the blockchain, almost like logging into a bank. So I don't know how much you use. I don't know how much you use different wallets, but that is an option. That's what I personally use, and I think this is Ledger compatible. I think that's what this article says. Yeah, so it's compatible with the Ledger as well. So there are multiple ways to get your coins off of Binance Exchange. I think I don't have much information on if Binance is going to confiscate that stuff from you. They're pretty good about not doing that. They just won't let you trade it, is my understanding. So leave me a comment below. And if you leave a comment on that, and it's a pretty good one, I might pin it to the top so people can see that in specific regards to, hey, are you screwed, out of luck? Did you lose your coins on Binance? I haven't done all the research on that because I can't use Binance, right? So, but my understanding with Binance is that they will let you move the coins out of the exchange, but it's not a tradable pair right now, okay? But it's still, so if you use Binance and your coins are still on there, my understanding, which I'm not for sure is, I'm not 100% sure is correct, is that you can still take your tokens off of there, okay? So, so the last thing that I wanted to talk about is when you hear any person on YouTube talk about, hey, I'm bullish on this coin, here's why. You as your own person, it's your money, or, you know, in general, and I'm not diverting blame. I do blame myself for not, you know, making the specific note, hey, the developer hasn't been very active in the community for a couple of years. You might want to take note of that. However, the chart is saying huge ROI potential. So I do absolutely take blame for that. I should have done it as a content creator. I absolutely should have. I don't want to scapegoat around that or run around that idea. So let's make that idea very clear. I do take blame for that. However, mixed with the idea of the portfolio, don't go all in on a coin, and don't just have coins that you're hodling necessarily, even though that's not a horrible idea, but have different strategies within your portfolio, right? Such as staking or spot trading, or perhaps trying futures with 3% to practice trading on the side. So mixed with that core idea, another core idea is when you hear YouTubers talk about coins, ultimately just know that, you know, you are responsible for clicking buy, and mix that with the idea that you should have multiple strategies, not just diversification of different coins, but strategies of what you're doing with those coins. And if you were to mix those two ideas together, it will protect your portfolio, overall portfolio, from down moves on one of the potentially many assets that you hold within different strategies that you hold different coins. So that is pretty much a wrap up of this. And, you know, I want to look you guys right. I want to look right in the camera and let you guys know I feel terrible about it. Until I found this article right here, I honestly didn't know what to say, because I didn't know Binance. I didn't know what Binance's thoughts were, right? I could have assumed that it wasn't because of trading volume, particularly because if you go on and check the trading volume of a bunch of pairs on Binance, VIACOIN was not at the bottom or near the bottom. It was kind of the bottom middle, 3 million trading volume on Binance per what I saw, and it was not at the bottom. So I didn't suspect that. However, I did suspect this because perhaps Binance reached out to them, needed something, and they never got response, tried and sent them a warning, never got responses. That might be what happened. And then I saw this article come out kind of saying, hey, we think the same thing. So then I thought, well, okay, since somebody's doing some digging on why VIACOIN got delisted, kind of agrees with what I was thinking. Now I'll make the video, because now I have a little something to say instead of just sitting on my hands not knowing what the hell, why the hell, sorry for my language, VIACOIN got delisted. And now I simply don't have to speculate. So, you know, wrapping up here, I didn't make a video on this for a while for that reason. Was that the right thing to do? I still don't know. Especially since, you know, my name is literally on VIACOIN. Perhaps I should have sent a little ditty, but I did do that with my community, but I didn't do that with overall YouTube. And, you know, if you follow me on YouTube and not in the community, you know, that's perfectly fine. That's how I rolled for like 4.5 years before I accidentally became a content creator. I still don't know if I did the right thing on waiting to make a video on this until I knew a little bit more. So if you think that was the wrong choice, you know, I want to look you, I guess, in the eye or in the camera and say, I do apologize for that. And I simply didn't know what to do until something was released with a little bit more information. So that's all I got for you. It's not the greatest video, but this is a little something because I guess my name is literally on it. And moving forward, just know that I am here to try to help people in their crypto journey, but not everything I say is going to be absolutely perfect. And, you know, let's say I say 100 things. 2 of those things out of 100, let's say, could be, you know, an abysmal call, which, you know, the number's probably higher than 2. It might be 5. It might be 1 in 20. Who knows? So just know that, you know, as I talk about coins and stuff, I am not a fundamentalist by heart, even though I might start integrating that into my channel. So before you click buy, if you are looking at my channel from a charting perspective, you know, definitely go in and look at things from a fundamental perspective as well, because I have to focus my time on charts. So I could recommend that to you. And that's the thought that I want to leave you with, on top of the idea that, hey, I truly am sorry this happened. And I'm sorry if you're a person who's been greatly affected. I do feel bad. I've been moderately affected by this because it's, I don't know, it was probably like 3% of my portfolio before that dump. It was a small percentage, but, you know, it's kind of a chest pounding coin, and it's sad to see it be delisted and its potential, you know, it might not recover. I'm not going to lie. So, however, I'm still going to hold it. But at this point, because I bought it, you know, so low anyway, between 18 and 24 cents, but I do apologize. I feel bad, not just on a personal level, but, you know, as a content creator level, giving information to people that ended up not being great information. So I do apologize. Just know I'm not going to be perfect, and that's what I'll leave you with, and we'll see you next time.